Before tayo mag-factor ng perfect square trinomial, dapat muna nating matutunan kung ang isang trinomial ba ay perfect square trinomial. Kasi po, on the later part lesson, hindi na sasabihin na perfect square trinomial or difference of two squares or common monomial factoring yung gagamitin nyo. You must learn how to identify what kind of polynomial is given to you. Kaya po, ngayon, ituturo ko po paano malalaman kung if the given trinomial is a PST or perfect square trinomial. So, the first thing that you need to check is the first and third term. So, dapat si first term at si third term ay perfect squares. When we say perfect squares, of course, positive lagi. And may square root. So, kapag doon pa lang, hindi na po nag-satisfy or hindi na po siya ganon, ibig sabihin, it is not already a perfect square trinomial. Ngayon naman, if ever na perfect square ang first term and the third term, including its variable po ha, kasama po yung variable. We will now check the middle term or the second term. Yung second term po, dapat even number. Paano natin malalaman kung tama? Hindi lang basta po kasi even yon. Dapat po twice the product of the square root of the first term and the square root of the third term. So, ibig sabihin, dapat yung square root ng first term natin, ita-times natin sa square root ng third term natin, and ita-times 2 natin. And that will give us our middle term. Middle term can be either positive or negative. Okay lang yon. It doesn't matter. Basta dapat, yung nauna kong sinabi kanina, perfect square si first term and si third term. And then ito, yung 2 times the square root of the first term and square root of the third term. Ngayon, as you can see, we have our first is 9x squared plus 6x plus 4. Okay, 9x squared is a perfect square kasi 9 is 3 times 3, x squared is x times x. And then 4 is 2 times 2, perfect square. Ngayon, ang kailangan natin tignan is yung middle term or yung second term. Twice ba siya ng product ng square root ng first term and ng third term? So, let's see. So, twice ng product ng, ano ba yung square root ng first term natin? 3x. And then, ano ba yung square root ng third term natin? 2. Kapag ba kinuha ko yung sagot, yung middle term yung sagot. So, 2 times 3 is 6x. 2 times 3x is 6x times 2 is 12x. So, since yung middle term is dapat po yan 12x. At dahil hindi naman po 12x, so this is not a PST. Okay, let's proceed to the second example. First term is a perfect square. 16x squared is 4x times 4x. Yun. And then, yung last term naman, 1 yun. 1 times 1 is 1. Kaya lang, perfect square kasi yun. Wala pong perfect square na negative. Kasi po, a sign multiply it to itself will give us a positive. sign. So, dahil negative to, so kung positive to, PST. Pero dahil hindi, not na agad. We will not proceed anymore to check the middle term. Kasi, yung una pa lang, hindi na siya nag-satisfy. And then, let's now check yung pang number 3. 9x squared minus 30x plus 25. So, perfect square si first term. Perfect square si third term. Kasi 5 times 5, ito 3x times 3x. Ngayon, tignan natin kung kunin natin yung twice ng product ng square root ng first term. Square root ng first term is 3x. Ang square root naman ng 25 is 5 kasi 5 times 5. And then 2 times 3 is 6 times 5 is 30. So, 30x. So, 30x. Ma'am, negative po. Again, like I told you, it doesn't matter na negative or positive yung second term natin. So, dahil nakuha natin yung middle, so this is a perfect square trinomial. And then, let's proceed to number 4. Last is, ito po, perfect square. Kasi 3 times 3. Ito din, perfect square, x times x. Let's see kung makukuha natin siya. Kung twice ba siya ng square root ng first term and square root ng third term natin. So, 2 times 3 is 6 times x is 6x. So, 6x. So, we could say this is a PST. Since we know now how to identify if a trinomial is a perfect square trinomial, let's proceed now how to factor a perfect square trinomial. Okay, given that the following is already a perfect square trinomial, so kapag sinek naman natin, lahat yan, ang first term and third term is a perfect square and the middle term is twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. Ngayon, para ma-factor to, madali lang naman po since you already know that the given is a perfect square trinomial. Ang pinaka-shortcut lang po niyan ay ganito. Sinulat ko lang to in formula form pero hindi po ako yung nag-imbento kung paano mag-factor ng perfect square trinomial. So, ang tinuturo ko po kapag magpapa-factor ako ng perfect square trinomial, sabi ko sa kanila, in a parenthesis, isulat nila yung square root ng first term. Tapos, ilagay nila sa middle sign ang sign sa gitna po ay ang sign of yung second term. And then, yung nasa pangalawa po ay yung second term natin sa factor natin ay ang square root naman ng third term. And then, para mas madali, lagyan natin ng squared. Kung hindi man, pwede namang dalawang ganyan kung ayaw mag-squared. Okay? So, let's now do it on our examples number 1, 2, and 3. Adjust ko to. Okay? So, number 1, ang square root ni x squared is x. And middle sign natin, dahil plus 8, kulang yung given ko pala dito. Middle term natin or yung second term natin ay positive. So, plus lang yan. And then, square root ng 81y squared is 9y. Kasi 9 times 9 is 81 and y times y is y squared. So, that is the factor. And then, pwedeng dalawang ganito isusulat natin or just put a square. Okay, next, number 2 is also a perfect square trinomial. The square root of 4x squared is 2x because 2x times 2x is 2x squared. Since the second term is negative din yung nasa gitna. And then, 25 is a perfect square. 5 times 5. Kaya po, 5 yung nandito. And then, we will just put square o kaya yung sinasabi ko kanina, pwede namang dalawang parenthesis. Okay, it's either naka-squared siya or dalawang beses nyo isusulat. And then, last is yung number 3. Adjust ko lang ulit. So, the square root of 36a squared is 6a because 6 times 6 is 36 and a times a is a squared. And then, again, yung middle sign natin is positive. So, plus lang ito. And then, 49, the square root of 49 is 7 because 7 times 7 is 49, and then I would just put it on the square. Okay? So that is how you will factor a perfect square trinomial.